Well, there's a wonderful gentleman, a producer, has his own company, but works a great deal with A&E, named Kevin Burns. And Kevin, whom I didn't know, got a hold of me and said he's got this show that he's going to do. Would I be interested in working with him and being in front of the camera? So I went to his office and met a dozen people who were going to work on it, and got an idea of not only what the concept of the show, but where they were going to work, kind of things, which I found totally intriguing, and I immediately accepted to be a part of it. It's filled with mystery. It's filled with dramatization of the mystery and trying to show you how mysterious this thing is, and the fact that there's no answer. Now, I guess there's a scientific answer to a black cloud and rumbling thunder, hearkening terrible damage, but the explanation doesn't matter in this case because it's still ominous. In our case, not only is it ominous, but there's no explanation. A man is in a coma and comes out of the coma and is able to play the piano like a concert pianist. How's that possible? The mystery of the brain, the total mystery of how the brain works, what it does, how it accepts knowledge, how it transmutes the knowledge. Total mystery to us. We're on the verge of discovering things, but the more we discover, the more mysterious it becomes. And that's the case. The universe is expanding. It's supposed to be contracting. Big Bang Theory, boom, bang. That's what everybody thought until we discovered the fact that it's going that, and it's not coming back. It continues to expand. How is that possible? We don't know. And these are the tantalizing mysteries that the unexplained dramatizes. Drinking tea. So somebody put a leaf in some hot water and it got brown and tasted funny. And they said, oh, tea, good thing. That's a mystery of who did that, who ate the first clam. How do you explain that? There's a clam and it's oogie and a googie, and somebody ate it. How did they do that? But it doesn't have enough ooga booga about it. So the mysteries have to have a mystery, have to have something tantalizing, like a guy playing the piano, like a forest near Tokyo that is evil, and people go there to die. And there are places all over the world, evil places where death and destruction seem to happen because of evil spirits. And what is an evil spirit? Does evil spirit exist, or is that a figment of our imagination and happens because we're imagining it? It needs, this material needs an appeal, and whether that's ghostly or intellectual, or it just needs something more than just a plain mystery. And those are the ones we need to find and pick through. Well, that was part of what we arranged to begin with, that I would be a partner in the endeavor. I love acting and I love performing. I love telling you a story and intrigue you into that story like I do in the UnXplained. That gives me a great deal of pleasure to be able to entertain you. But I love the idea of creating it as well. So over the years, I've done my best to bring out material, try and sell it. And so the whole idea of how this business works, you have an idea, you amplify the idea, you get people who are qualified to be with you, and then you go and sell it to people who buy, like the A&E network. And so I have several projects at A&E and other networks attempting to sell other pieces of entertainment. That's really fun. And one of the mysteries that is essentially unexplained is, how do you make a sale? How do you intrigue the people who buy for the network to buy this particular show? And that's continually a moving target, because the executives themselves are moving targets. They move from one network to another with some constancy. So the act of creating this show is of great satisfaction to me. They have the knowledge, but there's no explanation. There's no reasonable explanation. 20 or so Russian students go camping in the Ural Mountains in the wintertime. This is about 20 years ago. And they disappear for several months, and they're found in all kinds of grotesque positions. They're manipulated. Their tongues are torn out. Their bodies are stricken. They're in their sleeping clothes rather than the winter clothes that they would have worn. They cut themselves out of the tent. The knife strokes show. Something was there, some force, something happened where a dozen or more young people scattered in the middle of the winter and were found in an area of a mile square in all kinds of strange, deathly, deadly positions. They've never discovered what happened. Who, what, why? So there's all kinds of opinion. We even offer one where there were winds that set up a vibration that may have driven them mad. Not great. And so there's no explanation. And that's the most magical of the great stories for the unexplained, is what's the explanation? And it's just totally tantalizing. It's totally, there's no explanation that we can think of. Can you think of an explanation? Exactly. So religion has answers based on faith. I agree with the teacher who told me this explanation, and I go on faith. So God exists out there, and when you die, you go to heaven. It's a beautiful thought. I find that hard to believe. So I don't know, and I'm dying of curiosity, and will die with one of the emotions I will feel if I'm conscious when I'm dying is what's going to happen, and will I do this alone? Will I be alone in this? So there's a mixture of curiosity, sadness, hesitation, anticipation. And I feel that way about all these mysterious things that have no explanation to us, but there's an explanation somewhere. Some thing, some entity has the answer to what happened before the Big Bang, what happens after the Big Bang, and where, if this universe is expanding and it continues to expand, where's it expanding to? And so the idea of limitless space or curved space, we don't know, but it's open to all kinds of interesting possibilities that are intriguing. And that's the magic, I think, of the unexplained.